Your cloud bill seems pretty straightforward, right? You pay for your compute, your storage, your data transfer. But what if I told you that a huge, massive part of your cost is completely invisible on that bill? Well, today we are pulling back the curtain on the hidden world of SaaS and software licensing in FinOps. I mean, really think about it. You put so much effort into optimization. You've fine-tuned your instances, you've tiered all your storage, you've scrutinized every bit of network traffic. And yet, you're still not seeing the full picture. There is a huge piece of the financial puzzle missing from your cloud spend, and I guarantee it's costing you way more than you think. And this is the reality for most organizations. On one side, you've got your cloud infrastructure costs, the stuff you know so well. It's visible, it's managed, it's under control. But then there's this other side, this black box of unknown software costs. These are all the licenses and subscriptions that are running on that infrastructure, driving up your total cost of ownership while staying completely off the radar. So let's talk about what's actually inside that black box. This is the real hidden cost of the cloud. And it's not the infrastructure itself, but the software that runs on the cloud. And get this, that software spend can easily be just as big, if not bigger, than your entire infrastructure bill. This analogy just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly captures the scale of the problem. I mean, you can optimize your day-to-day spending all you want, you can clip all the coupons, but if you are completely ignoring a massive foundational cost like your mortgage, your budget is just, well, it's fundamentally flawed. The exact same thing is true for FinOps. If you ignore software, you are making huge decisions based on totally incomplete data about what your cloud truly costs. Okay, so how do we get this beast under control? Well, the good news is you don't have to start from scratch. The FinOps framework gives us a structured, proven approach to solving this exact problem. Within the framework, this whole thing is officially called the licensing and SaaS capability. Now, the goal here is simple, but believe me, it is incredibly powerful. It's all about bringing that black box we just talked about out into the light, making every single dollar of software spend visible, manageable, and a heck of a lot more efficient. But look, it's not just about finding these costs. It's about understanding why they are so incredibly complex to manage in the first place. We're talking about a genuine maze of contracts, rules, and risks. And oh boy, there are so many ways to get tripped up in this maze. For instance, many contracts have what's called a true-up clause. So let's say you're licensed for 100 CPUs, but a traffic spike one day pushes you to 120. Well, the vendor can true up your bill to that 120 rate for the entire year. But guess what? When you scale back down to 80, there's no true down to save you money. It's a one-way street. Add to that all the complex vendor rules, the constant threats of a costly audit, and all these sneaky hidden fees for things like API calls, and you can see why this needs a dedicated focus. So broadly speaking, you get this software in two ways. Bring your own license, or BYOL, can be incredibly economical, but you are carrying all the risk of managing compliance yourself. On the other hand, the cloud marketplace offers amazing flexibility and speed, but without some central coordination, you will inevitably end up with 5 different teams buying the exact same tool, creating just a massive amount of waste. Now, let me be really clear about this. Tackling this maze is absolutely not a one-person job. It demands a true, dedicated partnership that cuts across your entire organization. Right at the center of it all is the FinOps practitioner. Think of them as the orchestrator, the one connecting all the deep technical details with the real-world financial impact. They're the ones tracking usage, modeling costs, and helping engineering understand the financial consequences of their architectural choices. Next up, you've got your IT or software asset management team, your ITAM or SAM folks. These are your license experts. They know the contracts inside and out, they manage all the renewals, and they are absolutely critical for maximizing the value of your BYOL rights and, frankly, keeping you out of compliance trouble. Then there's Procurement, your negotiating powerhouse. They're the ones who work with all the other teams to make sure that for every single software purchase, doesn't matter if it's a massive enterprise agreement or just a quick marketplace buy, you are getting the absolute best terms and value possible. And finally, we have engineering. Their decisions on the ground have a direct, immediate financial impact. By understanding the licensing options available and properly tagging resources, they can build applications that aren't just powerful, but are cost-effective right from day one. So how does this dream team actually come together to master this whole thing? Well, it's a journey, and the FinOps framework lays out a very clear evolutionary path. from crawl to walk to run. The crawl stage is pretty reactive. You're just getting started, maybe you're tracking your biggest software spends in a spreadsheet. Then, in the walk stage, you start to become proactive. You're integrating data, you're having collaborative conversations before a big renewal hits. And finally, in the run stage, optimization is just part of your culture. It's automated, it's proactive, and all the teams are working from a single dynamic source of truth. So, what does success actually look like here? How do you know if you're really on the right track and that all this effort is actually paying off? Your success really boils down to three key things. First, are all of your licensing and SaaS costs fully visible? Is the black box gone? Second, are you actually using the licenses you buy, or are they just collecting digital dust somewhere? And third, and this one is non-negotiable, are you fully compliant with your license terms so you can avoid those massive unbudgeted audit penalties? The ultimate goal, the real end game here, is to get to a state where your financial reporting dynamically includes all of this software spend. When a product team looks at their costs, they see the true, complete total cost of ownership for their service. Infrastructure and software, all combined. That is when you know you have truly mastered this capability. And that brings me to one final thought for you to take away. Looking at your own work, at your own company, where is your organization's biggest blind spot when it comes to software spend? Because finding that, well, that's the first step on your journey to mastering this critical capability. Thanks for tuning in.